What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another edition of the Internet Wrestling Community Outreach, which is part of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast for the week. I'm your host, Tony Mango. As always, we're going to start things off with the Smark My Words fan-submitted comment of the week. And actually, Ben Guest gets 2 wins this time. He had 2 different comments that I thought were really funny, and I couldn't really decide between the 2, so I figured, fuck it, we'll just do both of them. One of them was in reference to Shaun talking about his love life. Ben says, I think it was fucking Elle that made Shaun start hating women. And of course, that's a play on the whole fucking Elle kind of a thing that we keep doing with Shaun. So if Shaun ever does meet somebody named Elle, he's going to have to run. And the other one was in our Megamaniacs chat. Kaylin says, I finally get to see Cena live, assuming that he's here. And Ben's comment afterward, but ... you can't see him. So another play on words when it comes to that. You know, I love my puns and my little stupid jokes when it comes to references and different things like that. So Ben, you get 2 different things here. You get 2 awards of nothing when it comes to that. Go check out Ben's power ranking articles. He does those every single week. He also chips in when it comes to the triple threat and a bunch of other things that we do on the website. So thank you, Ben. Thank you to everybody else who left comments all over the place as well. You can do that on YouTube, Twitter, and of course that Megamaniacs group on Facebook, which you're going to find at facebook.com/group/the Megamaniacs. That's how it works. You're going to want to join that if you haven't already, because that's where we do some different things throughout the week. There's live chats as well as where I get you guys to chime in on different things. Like I had you guys vote on which topic we were going to be doing for the Smark Madness tournament. I also have your opinions on the Royal Rumble predictions contest and a bunch of other things like that. So Megamaniacs on Facebook, sign up. You're going to have some fun. Start sending in your questions for the February mailbag special. That's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks at some point. You can do that by tweeting at SmarkOutMoment with the hashtag mailbag or leaving an email through the contact form of the website. And if you're new and you don't know what that is, basically if you want to pick our brains about anything wrestling related or not, send it our way and most likely we'll be answering it. If you want to help support the growth of Smark Out Moment, there's a couple different ways that you guys can do so. If you want to donate money, you can do so directly through the PayPal, the YouTube's fan funding module, or our Patreon account. You can buy some t-shirts, mugs, notebooks, laptop covers, and all the other sorts of merchandise over at our Redbubble and TeePublic shops. And we have 3 TeePublic shops, not just for the Smark Out Moment stuff, but we have a Fanboys Anonymous one and another one called A Mango Tees, where I have like some political things and some stupid stuff like that. You could also help spread the word about the website in a couple different ways, such as the Sign Me Up initiative. Now for that, what you're going to do is you're going to take a sign that says Smark Out Moment to a wrestling show, send a picture of yourself holding it up to me, and you're going to hope that it doesn't get confiscated, because apparently, according to this week, with Kaylin and Angie bringing a sign, they got it taken away. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Nothing offensive about that. I mean, I'm offensive, I'm sure, but that's a little bit weird, so don't think that you're going to be running into any kind of a risk. That's the only time that anybody's ever had any kind of an issue with the Smark Out Moment sign. I'm assuming that something must have been weird with the guy that took it. I don't know. We're going to get Kaylin's opinion about that when he's on next and see what the case was. Maybe he was being a little bit too rowdy. I don't know. But yeah, if you do that, I mean, we've had a bunch of people in the past. Peter's done that in the past. Andre's done that. So nobody's had any issues. It's just an oddball case. But it's greatly appreciated if you guys do that kind of a thing. That's super cool to bring a sign that says Smark Out Moment. Always love seeing a sign that says Smark Out Moment on the wrestling shows at the time. Always helps out in any capacity when you guys put the name out there for different things. And another thing that helps out quite a bit in that kind of capacity is to follow our social media accounts and kind of keep the ball rolling with that. So if we have a post on Facebook, either like it or share it. You can retweet or follow us on Twitter. When it comes to the YouTube videos, you can hit that like button to give us a little thumbs up. That helps us quite a bit. You can also keep the discussion going in the comments section. You can subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know why you haven't done that yet. You can share the website's articles, and you can share the videos and anything else that you want on Reddit. You can post that elsewhere on the internet. Anything that brings the people back to the website and the channel and all that is greatly appreciated, guys. All that help that you guys do goes a long way in the long run. And the same thing applies to fanboysanonymous.com. That's where I do my movie reviews and different things like that. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to geek out with me on that kind of stuff, head on over to fanboysanonymous.com, like and follow the Facebook and Twitter accounts, subscribe to that YouTube channel, all the other kind of stuff that goes along with that. And lastly, we have our major topic of this video, the wrestling trivia question of the week, otherwise known as the Ask Him. Last week's question was about Kurt Angle because they announced that he was going to be in the Hall of Fame. So the question was, who were Kurt Angle's first and last opponents in WWE? Now, I specified before that I was pretty much just going to be counting TV and pay-per-view matches because the dark matches are things nobody ever remembers. But if you were interested in what was happening with that, his first match technically was a dark match. He beat Brian Christopher on Shotgun Saturday Night on April 11th, 1999. But his first televised match was defeating Shaun at Survivor Series 1999. And his last match was against Sabu. It was a no contest in ECW on August 8th, 2006. Although he did defeat Danny Doring on a house show match a little bit later than that, just a couple days, on August 14th, 2006. So if you go with the pay-per-view and the TV things, it was Stasiak and Sabu were the first and the last. If you go with the dark matches, Brian Christopher and Danny Doring. So let's see what you guys said here. We got a couple things that were incorporated into the mailbag. Sadluna Doom says, Al Snow and Triple H. I'll save everything else for later, but if I didn't, that means I forgot, so fuck me. Also, Lanny Poffo and David Otunga. Guest 5 says, yes, 5 points for nothing in my Smark My Words bank. You know, eventually it gets to the point where you can trade those in for an even bigger amount of nothing. It's a weird conversion rate that I've got going on, but it's better than nothing, right? It's just a stupid-ass joke. Guest 5 also says, if Ty Dillinger isn't in Pitch Perfect 10, I'm out. Very good comment there. And the Dominator 39R says, stupid fucking meat Stasiak and the weed machine Sabu, unless you mean his first match after they changed the name to WWE. Then his first match was against racist Hulk Hogan and Edge. I love, by the way, the weird, this might be a Tony question undercurrent that happens sometimes that I don't plan out, but now it's gotten to a point where it's like everybody's kind of on edge where, wait a minute, he said first match in WWE, Tony might be a douchebag enough to say, well, those were in WWF, and the first match in WWE was technically whatever. I'm a jerk. So, that was last week's questions. Now, this week's question is going to be the one that I said that I was going to do 3 weeks ago or whatever, and I kept thinking of better questions, so I didn't think of anything better this week to supersede it, so let's just do it anyway. We've got the Royal Rumble coming up this Sunday on the 29th, I think it is, whatever the case may be. I don't know, I'm losing track of my dates right now. So that's going to be in San Antonio, Texas, and we've had 2 other Royal Rumbles in San Antonio before. Who are the 2 wrestlers who won those Royal Rumbles in San Antonio? If you think you know the answer, or you want to leave a guess, or anything else like that, leave your comments below. Well, next week I'll tell you who gets it right, who gets it wrong, and everything else. This is a pretty easy one in the grand scheme of things, though, so I'm pretty sure that most people are going to get this correct. And that's going to do us in, then, for this week's edition of the IWC Outreach. I want to thank you all for listening, and I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and to stay tuned to the channel for more, because we've got our NXT TakeOver predictions coming up next. After that's going to be our Royal Rumble predictions. Following that is going to be our NXT TakeOver post-show, and then following that is going to be the Royal Rumble post-show. So we got 4 more things coming at you over the next couple of days. Stay tuned for all that kind of stuff. That's going to be our main events. But for now, this has been another Smark Out moment, and I'm being counted out.